So I'm still here at Renner Auto with Jason. Now, I've been bugging him for a couple of years to take a look at this Porsche 356. It's got a bit of a different engine in it, and finally, Jason is letting me have a look at it. So like I said at the start, it's been 2 years. I've been harassing you about seeing this 356. It is up there. We won't show too much of it because there's some special things going on with it.
Yeah.
But it's got a brand new engine.
Correct. And I really wanted to highlight these oil return tubes because I watched your video and I was like, okay.
These are not what I would call sexy.
No, they're probably not. They're not leaking because there's no oil in the engine, maybe. So we'll have a chat to you about that. But yeah, having this engine in a 356 is definitely, with a G5050 and this engine, has been absolutely a joy, really, to have the opportunity to do this.
Because that's a tight fit, that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We've kept the engine, or the powertrain, quite far forward to give us really good clearance for the fan to the engine lid opening.
Because we were talking just a second ago that normally in a 356, when they've got a 2.2 or a 2.7, that they've got holes at the back of the number plate, and in some instances the number plate is mounted a little bit funny, so it almost sits a little bit off the car so that the fan at least gets some air. And then I've seen the normal 4.6s, like, I don't know, they've always kind of run a little bit rough and almost like there's not enough air, and the plugs start to get a little bit like, you can't just turn them off and on and expect them to run okay. They need a bit of a kick afterwards.
Yeah, look, for me it was really about opening that engine lid and not having the fan jammed up against the back of the car.
And you want to see the fan.
You want to see it. Because
that's the
whole
cool part.
reason why you go to this trouble.
Yeah.
And you know, we engineered all of this billet structure here to make that area as thin as possible. The body doesn't need a second shield there.
Yeah.
So that we could get the air into the fan, get it through the engine, and I think having the engine that's just that far forward was great. You know, we obviously have to run a high angularity CV joint, but we're within spec there. We're using a good CV joint. So the brakes just vented rears, and the fronts are running cross-drilled as well. Sorry, cross-drilled at the front. But yeah, a great project to work on. Getting all the opportunity to make little custom mounts like this to package it into the chassis nicely. A really rigid base to start the car on an original car is just great. We've got ITBs on it, sort of recent ITBs, coil on plug. We'll run a Heltec ECU, drive-by-wire.
And we should say it was a 993 engine in it.
And also,
you got a beautiful pulley system.
Yeah, Poly V with a tensioner.
Yeah, I do like that.
You actually need that really because we've got a very high current alternator in there to run the AC, and for that high powered alternator, you can't really run those on a V groove pulley.
Yeah,
there's not enough belt traction. So you really need to run that belt system, and I like it. It just looks a little neater.
It looks,
I like it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I like
it. I appreciate the functionality that comes with it.
Yeah, I'm an engineer.
Does look great
I'm an engineer, so it's sort of, but it does look great. I am really, really happy with that, and I hope we can get a fiberglass, that clear, that clear fiberglass engine cover.
Yeah,
is what I'd like to see. I haven't asked the owner yet, but I think that's possibly what I'd like to see, but we'll probably run it by him maybe after we buy it. I don't know, but we'll see how we go.
Show him.
Yeah, correct. No, he's great. So he's going to be wrapped. He's very much involved in this process. Very much involved. A lot of the stuff that you see here is because of him as well. So
because none of it is 356.
No, this is all our structure under here. You come up to our front end and all the rest, and you can see the condenser at the front.
Yeah.
Sneaking under there. We've got a great fan above that. So we'll get some good flow through that condenser. The AC will run well. We're not running a heater system. There'll be just extractors at the back. So we'll start making those soon.
You can always wear a jacket.
You always wear a jacket, but keeping cool's a little more difficult. So I think that'll look great. We've just got to really work out trying to get as much equal length as we can, but there's just not a lot of room in these cars to create a lot of stuff back there. We'll run a transverse muffler, and I think it'll sound great. It's gonna be an awesome car.
That induction sound in a 356 from this engine is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, ITBs with no filters, just like the GT40. It's there'll be no facility for any filter system on the car, so I don't want to see that either. It just sounds better.
It does.
Better. There's not that much dust around, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
I mean, the GT40's done lots of Ks and some pretty,
Yeah.
It's
a myth.
It's not hard to rebuild these engines, is it?
No.
I don't know. It's easy. It's cheap, Scott. You've done hundreds of them.
It is cheap. I'll just check with the wife.
Correct. It'll be fine. We'll put some aluminium cam covers on, or rocker covers on.
Because these are the original.
They buckle a bit.
They do. They crack.
So we'll do that, and I think it'll be great. So look forward to moving on this one.
There's actually quite a reasonable amount of space. I know the tinware will
there'll be some custom tinware, but we kicked the chassis rail out on the side because we want to be able to service the coil-on plugs and get in there and change plugs and stuff. So there's been a fair bit of thought into it. We didn't want to have to drop the engine to do anything simple. So
there is a surprising amount of space.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. You have to spend a bit of time on it. But we're running the dry sump system with a custom tank, but we'll have a factory style filler coming through the side. So that's in the right position with the factory steel sort of filler cap. I love that. So we'll make a billet receiver for that and put that in. But it's pretty understated. It's not going to be a crazy car.
Says someone with a 993 engine in a 356.
Yeah, I think people have done it.
I
was out at Patrick Motorsport in Arizona, and they had one there they'd done. But again, I think we've done something pretty unique in where it's positioned in the car and the rest of the package.
I think shifting it back makes a whole lot of difference.
Shifting it forward.
Sorry. Yeah.
Correct. It does make a big difference. We're running factory style shift system and stuff like that, but we're going to create, again, almost like our Speeds, as a billet shifter that really diminishes the size of them, because late model shifters were huge.
Yes.
They had the big tower and stuff. So we're engineering that to really package it down.
Yeah.
So that we don't have that big tell when you open the door that you see the shifter. We really want to have that more delicate shift appearance. So a lot of fun. Fun. So lucky to be able to do this, really.
It's cool. And I've been dying to see it for a little bit of time, and with the engine over there on stage and seeing this around, it's been cool to see it.
Yeah, no, thanks.
So there is a lonely steel body speedster here.
Correct. I mean, there's been a lot of hours in this, but this was really about understanding how these bodies were built, how the panels were, the interior parts. This is all brand new metal. A lot of panels needs a bit of a clean. People have been touching it. It's got a bit of light corrosion on it. But
it's just surface, isn't it?
Correct. But it's all brand new. But we built this. We built this really as an example of how they fit together, what the gaps are like, what the shapes are like, and how the hinges are situated in the vehicle. And if people come in and want a metal-bodied speedster, we have the capacity to do that. For this car here, we've got orders out on composite cars.
Yeah.
We have a small shop, so we don't have the room for this. So we're going to let this go. We'll find a buyer for this. I'm sure somebody would love to have access to a mainly assembled, welded together, very well speedster body. So like I said, we've got the doors, the hood, lots of parts for it, hinges, etc.
And if you've got a rusty old bucket where you've got a VIN
pretty
number
fast.
And
It's a big head start. It really is.
Because I've seen some 356s recently that
there's
a lot of work required in them, and this gives you a start which definitely aids the pocket. Time. It's time. Killer.
Yeah, not only just even just air freighting panels over. Obviously these panels are purchased out from overseas, and just air freighting them in, takes time.
Especially with the dive.
The dollar is just
at
absolutely. Everyone's taking a bath on that. So so we'll work out a way to make people know this is here, I guess. We might advertise it or something. But yeah, we just don't have the room for it, to be honest. But it's been a great tool for us to understand, door shut-offs and all of the features around seals and it's been great. It's a nice body.
So if you're looking for a body and you've watched this video, then drop a comment or drop us an email or get in touch with Jason, and this needs to probably find a new home at some point. But
I'm a bit worried about your finder's fee though, so probably best I come straight to Renner.
I tell you what, it's a killer fee.
Yeah, I can imagine.